Hi, well, my name is Jose Mancilla. I am going to explain how I solved this coding challenge. The rules for this coding challenge is that a customer can purchase a car inside a range of 1 minute, and if the client wants to purchase another car, the endpoints must return an error, specifically the 429 error, and saying that the user is trying to make a lot of requests or too many requests. So I decided to solve this with Next.js framework because it's perfect for this application because we need to make an endpoint and also the front end user interface. So I decided to use from Next.js. But in the future, for example, if the application asks for a lot of endpoints or and then my idea would be to migrate to Node.js, Express, or Nest.js framework. But for now, for this coding challenge, I just decided to use Next.js. So I'm going to show the application running. It's I hosted this in the Vercel hosting. So it's running. All the user interfaces with TypeScript, React, and Tailwind CSS as for styling. Right now, the value you are seeing is retrieved from a service that I use that is called upstash. Upstash is a service that manages redis as a database and provides also a rate limit for if you want to use it in your endpoints. So I am using it, and the first time is doing a fetch call, in order to retrieve the current value. I am controlling by the way the value by IP address because we don't have an authentication method in the application, so I am using the IP as an identifier for the customer. So the first time is requesting that, and when I click the buy button, so the request is sent and the increase in the database and is updated in the user interface. If I click again, then the rate limit is working and checks if the IP is doing the request in the range of the 1 minute. If it's the if it's doing that, then it's shown a error message. If the time passes, then we'll call the increase value in the database, and again it will work like this. So it is working in different browsers if you want to check, because it's checking, it's controlling the business logic by an IP, not by a session or something like that. So it's you can check in different browsers. Yeah, now I'm going to show the application. I'm going to show the here the structure. Where this is a classic next application. We have the layout that is mandatory in next applications, and the page and the home. I am calling here a corner shop. This is where all the user interface is on and making the fetch calls and interfaces. I need sorry, I made this corner shop state in order to keep all the states in one place. And components, we have the main component, and in API we have the byte slash dash core, sorry, and the rows. This is a structure mandatory for React in order to work with endpoints. And what else? In the lib folder we have the authentication or the calling or the connection to the for the upstash service. I am reading from the mblocker. So don't worry about these keys because after I will erase. I don't use too much upstash, so it's just for this application. So I am making the connection here in order to have an instance from Redis that is working as a database, and rate limit in order to have the rate limit for the endpoints. Here I am configuring, or I am doing the setup. One request per minute. I can change here if I want. analytics in order to show all the interactions that the user is doing in the application in the upstash dashboard. And this is our prefix are the keys that the Redis is using to make the saving the data in the database. So it's just a name. I can change, or you can change if you want. Yeah. What else? I'm going to next. I'm going to show you the endpoints. I have two endpoints. The first is the get endpoint in order to retrieve the current value for a client or for a customer. Like I said, I am making a control by IP, but the default is the local host. But if the user doesn't send this request, or if the browser doesn't send the this header, but in the in when running an application, it's always being sent this value. So in the host end version, in version this is working. So I am reading the value from the database with this command redis.kit, and I am sending the current value to the front end, and I am also sending the status 200 like success or. And in the post endpoint, doing the same here, and here is the change. I am sending the IP that the browser is requesting to this endpoint, and here is making the magic, making the limit in that time. If the rules are not followed, or an error happens, so it doesn't it so it he enters here, and I calculate here the retry after seconds that the user needs to wait in order to make another purchase. And I calculate using the reset, that is a value in milliseconds that this API from upstash returned. So I am doing the calculation, and I am sending to the front end in order to update the UI and show it the correct message. Also, I am sending this 429 error that the project requires. Then, yeah, I am incrementing the value in the backend because it's safe. Um, First, I was thinking doing it in the front end, maybe using local storage or something like that. But I think it's very volatile to make this, so I changed my mind in order to make all this in the database or in the backend. It's more secure than doing in the front end. So I am doing in the backend, and I am sending the updated value to the front end with the success status. Then all these endpoints are consumed in the corn shop component. Uh, then in this, I am using the reducer that you. Sorry, I'm going to change this. That you are being seen in the right. I have all these actions here: fetch star, fetch access, and fetch error. These are mainly for the loading state at first place. Yeah. The by star, by success, and by the limited are working when the user is clicking the purchase button. By star is working when the user is clicks the button, and the state is button changed to true. And if it's success, it's changed to false, or if there is an error, it's changed to false also. The last status code is updating according to the response from the server, and then I updating the current count in the if the purchase success, and I'm updating also the messages. Yeah, and here in the front end, I am using the use effect, two use effects. No, sorry, one use effect in order to load first at mounting time the value from the database or from the upstash service. I am calling my endpoint, and I am waiting the response. If it's okay, then I am update the total course. Yeah. This is sent to the reducer, and it's update the value, and I am consuming the current count and message here in the application in the bottom. Current count, you can see it is buying and message. Yeah, okay. Then what else? Yeah, handled by current is the function that is executed when the user clicks on the purchase button. So an action is dispatched the by start in order that to indicate it to the application that needs to change some UI messages or and some styling. And then the add request is made to the same API, but with method plus in this case. And if the success is okay, then I update the total columns and I receive the message. And if the response is answers 200, no, 429, sorry, then I get the error message that was this message and indicating the retry after seconds. So this is here is read here, and I show directly this message to the user interface. And if maybe there is another kind of error, a network error or something like that, we will have sorry have some catch messages here. Yeah, that's all. That's all. This is all the application. This is made with Tailwind, like I said. In order that Tailwind works, there is a file globals.css, yeah, right, and this line. If you erase this line, so all the styles will not work. So in order to work with Tailwind for in nextjs, we need to have this file. What else? Yeah, I think that's all. I think yeah, I just have 5 minutes. So thank you.